My name is Jordan Belfort. The year I turned 26, I made $49 million, which really pissed me off because it was 3 shy of $1 million a week.
We're making a name for ourselves.
Nobody knows if the stock is gonna go up, down, sideways, or in circles. You know what a fugazi is?
Oh, Fugazi. It's fake.
Yeah, fugazi, fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust.
Was all this legal? Absolutely not.
Dudes on skate. Holy shit, kid!
Damn it. Fuck me.
Oh, what happened?
Spilled water on my dick.
Oh, shit. Do I have any crap I do not have any paper towels?
Cold water. It'll dry.
It'll dry out. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, sorry. I had to dodge because these kids were just skateboarding while I was driving across the intersection.
I got cold water on my nuts.
Yeah.
And so that's a great way to kick off the review to
Oh,
The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
I guess that's kind of appropriate given the movie we're about to review. Sort of. Okay, Wolf of Wall Street. This is, okay. Yeah, I had to dodge. Speaking of where that beginning of that recording started, because this is a car chat, and in car chat, I'm driving in a car. That name is very literal. We've probably said this before, but I'll just reiterate. And so, things happen while you drive, especially in the city of Los Angeles, because it's LA. And these kids just crossed the street while I was driving. I swerved, and Peter spilled water everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
On my dick. And it's really, really cold. And I'd say... And right now I'm really tempted to turn your heater on, Alex, but that would just...
We could turn the heater on.
That would just ruin the audio.
Yeah, that's gonna ruin the audio.
Yeah, so you know what? I will suffer. Let's try to keep this shit quick because my nuts are cold.
Okay, we're reviewing the Wolf of Wall Street movie. This is a film by Martin Scorsese.
Scorsese.
The very famous director who's done, of course, Goodfellas. And if you guys don't know what Goodfellas is...
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's probably maybe the best mob movie behind Godfather.
Yeah.
And whether it's one of the two, and what's the better one is heavily debated by movie buffs.
Yeah. So which, you know what I'd say, if you've never seen a Scorsese movie before, first of all,
I'm crying.
How did you? And second of all, I'm not sure if we can help you.
Yes, and I will attempt to help you by saying, before you listen to this review, watch Goodfellas on DVD or on Netflix. It's probably on Netflix, I'm guessing, and watch that film.
Yeah.
On that note, though, this is a Scorsese film, so of course there was a lot of interest to this movie. And being a Wall Street movie, there has been controversy, because anything about Wall Street is a touchy subject. The last big Wall Street movie being Oliver Stone's did a Wall Street movie about a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, I was about to say Wall Street, and then I remember that there was a sequel to it.
Yeah, that one with, it had,
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Who I always will be synonymous with Transformers, which isn't a good thing. But, anyway. So, this is starring, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, who's, I think, really pushing his acting, I think, to a new level. He's really raising the game in his acting. He's always been good, Leonardo DiCaprio, but
But yeah, I feel like with Django Unchained and The Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio is pretty much screaming, "I can act, motherfuckers! Pay attention to me!"
Yeah, people have always kind of doubted how good he is, but I think he's really solidified himself, especially this year, really. Speaking of what we mentioned on a previous podcast about 2013, he's really brought himself up, and I think he continues to take his game to a new level in this movie. And my father went to an early screening of this movie, and he was kind of nervous about it. So I was kind of nervous walking into this movie, but I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed many things about this movie. It was not a perfect movie. You didn't enjoy it?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
Yeah, let's just say yeah.
You enjoyed it. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
This is an R movie, and I'm just going to say this, that... Yeah, this is definitely, it lives up to the name, this is an R-rated movie, so...
Yeah.
Do you have anybody under the age of 16, 15?
Yeah. If you're at all uncomfortable with the human body, avoid this movie.
Also, I always say this in case some of you whoever you guys see movies with, do not see this with anybody who be awkward to, like your parents. Do not see this with your
I was
parents.
just about to say, don't see this movie with your parents.
Or anybody you're not... just don't see this with your parents. There's a lot of... We'll just say there is, which I kind of was prepared for, but not entirely. There is a lot of nudity in this movie.
Yeah.
Which I expected there would be, but not to the level not to the level that there was. I was kind of surprised in a good way by that, but...
Every single part is seen in this movie.
Yes.
I feel like I should have... I'm just going to throw that in there.
Yes, that is very true. I enjoyed this movie. There were problems with the movie. This movie is about 3 hours long.
And right off the bat, that's a big problem.
That is one of the problems with it. Is the movie is too long, but I'm not super upset because I knew it was a 3-hour movie coming in, so I kind of expected that problem. Because most 3-hour movies are way too long, except it seems that Peter Jackson and Lord of the Rings are the only people who have mastered the 3-hour movie. No one's quite figured it out yet, besides him. So it is too long, but that is a problem. But here's what I did enjoy. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of his best performances this year. And he really
his best performances
not his best.
ever, really.
Best performance ever, you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. He's definitely upping his game, and we talked about this in a previous review of American Hustle, which you guys should watch. And I thought who also has stepped up his game is Jonah Hill, is the second main co-star, and he's really in this movie. He solidifies himself as a really good actor.
Yeah.
He's moved beyond the comedy, which many comedic actors don't do. It's very rare.
He's still a comic relief character, and actually, you know what? I should also add that this is a very comedic movie.
Very surprisingly.
Yeah, very surprisingly.
And Jonah Hill's leading it's too comedic for some people, because the story... Let me get into the story and about the comedy issue, and I'll start with the story. The story's about this, a Wall Street broker who, based on a real person, in the late 80s and early 90s, did what's called a pump and dump fraud, which... I guess I'll explain. They don't explain it, but I'll explain it in very simple terms. It's when you illegally, raise the value of the stock through insider trading and basically raise its price, and you basically negotiate with the company as a broker to give you stock so you can raise it and then sell it at its peak and before it pumps back down. It's basically insider trading, kind of. It's illegal. So, and that's basically a simplified version because the whole lengths of it, which I kind of was explained about, is complicated. But he's basically doing Wall Street fraud. And, which, Wall Street is now like the new villain in our world today, really. I mean, they've always been like that. That Wall Street corruption did not begin with the stock market crash in 2008. Wall Street corruption has been going on for quite a long time. And this highlights that. And, being what it is, it's a touchy issue. And the comedy part probably bothers some people. It's bothered a couple people that a movie about a guy who really, the main character really is not a good guy, which is interesting. So,
by the way, it's based on the life of Jordan Belfort.
That's the name, I can't remember.
Yeah. So I think what some people have issue with is that there's the argument that it makes light of a very serious issue.
Yeah.
In a way. But I don't really see it that way, but some people have made that case.
A lot of people think it glorifies him, which I disagree.
Yeah. I do too, unfortunately. Walking out of the theater, I heard a lot of people saying that they want to do that or be like him. So hopefully Jordan Belfort doesn't become the next Gordon Gekko where everyone completely misinterprets the meaning of Oliver Stone's Wall Street.
Did that really get misinterpreted?
Oh yeah, big time. You know the modern...
What, the first one?
Oh yeah, the first one.
When did the first one come out?
87. I mean, really what we see as the modern image of the Wall Street man was absolutely false. It was just all the creation that they did for this one character of Gordon Gekko. And then everyone thought that it was so cool that it became reality in Wall Street. Sort of like the same way with the Godfather and the Mafia, how this emphasis on wearing, classy suits and, family and honor and all that shit. That's not how the Mafia worked. But when Mario Puzo released the Godfather novel, it was so popular that the Mafia actually incorporated those elements into into their lifestyle.
I heard about that. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's the same case with Wall Street and Wall Street the movie.
So, yeah, I see the issue, and that's, I don't let that stuff really influence how I see the movie as a piece of art, but I can understand that comedic kind of, people will be bothered by that. But let's get into the comedic part. Okay, the comedic part is not by the Belfort character, it's by Jonah Hill's character.
I mean, Jordan Belfort was also hilarious, too. In some
yeah, he
parts,
was,
I
but
would say.
Jonah Hill really... I think what he's done, and this was the most impressive thing to me, was really Jonah Hill's performance, actually. Is that he's really balanced the comedy and serious acting, and he really shows that he can do both in this movie, which was very, very impressive. And you still see, the old Jonah Hill coming out, but he does a very, very good performance. Also, there is lots and lots of nudity in this movie, which,
Once again.
Warren you.
Just said. A lot of drugs, too, don't forget.
There is a lot of drug use in the movie.
The best scene in the movie, actually... You know what? I'm not going to spoil it.
No. I don't want to spoil too much of the basic plot, which I've already told you. It's this guy who did this scheme, and then it's him basically, through this long period of time, keeping the scheme going, and, he's doing this fraud and rises to the top, but then that stuff starts to happen. And I don't really want to spoil more, because some of these scenes are hilariously funny.
Yeah. So, you know what, I'll just say, White Ferrari Country Club. Keep that in mind when you're watching the movie. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is a great scene.
That's the best scene in the whole movie.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Also, that blonde chick in the movie.
That would be Margot Robbie.
She is very hot.
She is pretty and talented too. She did a great job as
she did.
As Belfort's wife, or his second wife.
Second wife, anyway. Yeah. So I was very and the movie it's very I'm trying to think. It's very Leonardo DiCaprio really just the way he all the dialogue. Oh, Matthew McConaughey's
he's
in that movie.
Very briefly.
He has a very brief role, but once again, also somehow becomes one of the moments I remember from the movie, even though, which shows how good he is an actor. He's only in the movie about 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes.
And he does a superb job in such a short period of time. But it's definitely okay. Is there anything more positive I can say about? Yeah, the nudity. There's lots of hot chicks running around. So you guys, for all of you guys who don't care about any of this stuff, there'll be lots of hot chicks running around. Right, so that'll be enough for you.
You want to get to the bed?
Things I'm not a fan of. The movie was definitely too long, but I expected that.
And there are a lot of scenes, for example, a lot of the party scenes that could have been cut down or just, removed.
Yeah,
entirely.
The party scenes were, and I think that's why people glorified it, is that the party scenes were really done crazy. Because a lot of this movie is these guys at this stockbroker firm basically having wild, crazy parties all the time.
Yeah, and you know what? You made the point in the American Hustle review that we recorded earlier. Yeah. That the movie felt sort of divided into different pieces where it didn't seem all too cohesive.
This guy's failing at his...
Where the movie didn't seem very cohesive. Yeah. And I think that brings that there's more truth in that with The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, the movie seems almost kind of disorganized at times. Yeah. It's it goes all over the place. People, different stories running around, and to me, all the different things going around at the same time, it just gets too cluttered.
And for most of the movie, I thought, well, that seems really funny, or, well, that looks like a really crazy party. I wish I was there.
Yeah.
But that's it, It didn't really seem to...
It's ooh, crazy.
Together.
It's they had too many scenes of here's a crazy party. Oh, let's move on. I'm okay, another crazy party. And they kept doing look how crazy these guys party, which apparently there's some basis of truth in that.
I was really worried that this movie would just be, look at how crazy and greedy and horrible these financial people are. Where I said, yeah, well, that's true to a degree. I'm not sure if I want to watch that for 3 hours. And unfortunately, that's what this movie is. And that was my big stickler with it, where I just wanted to leave the theater.
Yeah, it's
for the entire last hour. Seriously.
Yeah, the last hour just got like, these people are dicks.
Yeah, it just
Sweet.
kept on going and going and going, and it didn't really seem to be leading anywhere.
Honestly, I think what gripes me is that there were so many of those party scenes that were just done too much and too excessive that they could have cut an hour out of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
But
I should also add that we forgot to talk about Kyle Chandler as the FBI agent who takes down Jordan Belfort. He had a great part to play in the movie. He had a great role, even though he was very brief.
yeah.
But yeah, I was very impressed by him, and I'm not sure if you remember him. He was the coach on Friday Night Lights.
Yes, I do. I remember him.
But yeah, I'm glad to see that he's getting more roles, and that he's also knocking them out of the park too. He was in all sorts of stuff. He was in Zero Dark 30.
Yes, he was in Zero Dark 30.
And he's in this. He's been in movies, and
he's been in a lot of really playing minor roles in big movies.
Yes.
Which is, even though it's a minor role, it's in a big movie. So I'm always down for that. And that really griped me though. That the glorifying thing, and I can see why people would think that for this movie. Because, also they had many scenes where they're doing parties, like the party scenes often got repetitive too. It's like the same type of partying, which...
I agree.
Which is weird. You think with different party scenes, like, oh, how many different type of parties can we come up with? I mean, I'm sure if you would imagine, any of you listening, like, come up with 5 different crazy parties. Anyone here listening could probably think of that, but the parties repeated themselves.
Yeah.
And that griped me, like, really? I already don't like these party scenes, but when you're repeating the same one again, it's just like, oh man, is Martin Scorsese trying to relive his youth now? I want to know this part. Is he?
It's entirely possible, but yeah. So now with that out of the way, dish out some ratings.
Wow.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
I'm torn between a 3.5 and a 4. So I'm going to go 3.8.
Okay.
I'm going to give it, I guess that's kind of the middle, not really, but that's okay.
But yeah, so while the performances are really good, and it was actually a very funny movie,
it dragged too long.
It dragged on too long, and it felt, worst of all, disjointed for long stretches of time.
Yeah, it felt like the editing was kind of weak. Like it wasn't edited. Like they did terrible editing, which... Also, I think I'm going to have to give it a 3.5 because even though, like, there weren't I don't know if there are many problems as many other movies, but given the editing bothered me because from a Martin Scorsese, I kind of have higher expectations for him. Given how skilled of a director he is and how many great classic movies he's done. So yeah, I'm going to have to give it a 3.5 too.
Yeah. Alright, so that's our review of The Wolf of Wall Street. And Alex, may I please turn on your heater?
Okay.
For my
I will
frozen testicles. Alright, how do you turn this on?
Right there.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh, thank God.
I just turned the heat back on. I'm just going to now super frost my window. Frosty. Alright, so we will see you guys later. Peace out.
Peace.
Come on.